everybody, and welcome to a new episode of
Be like that.
It Be Like That. Be like that. Be like that. Be like that. So, what's up?
Exclamation point. Oh,
We're here. We're sitting in the room, in the studio.
it's true. Two guys, two microphones, a camera.
Two guys, a girl, and a pizza pal. Wait,
what?
that's Ryan Reynolds.
I'm not that lucky to be Ryan Reynolds.
You don't want to be married to Blake Lively? Why can't I fucking talk today?
I said I'm not that lucky to be Ryan Reynolds.
You're not that lucky to be him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, he's a Disney princess now.
Because of Deadpool?
Because of Deadpool, yes.
Unicorn.
I'm pretty sure that they're going to make that joke when they make that movie.
Oh,
At some point, they've got to say something.
Yeah.
You would think about that. And then everything that's been going on with WandaVision, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, no spoilers, just that if you like the MCU...
Vision's alive in WandaVision.
Oh, and they're going through different TV shows.
Different errors.
Yeah, errors?
Errors.
Eras. Whatever.
There's an error, too.
Yeah, the system is down. The system is down. Do-do-do-do-do. But
Enhance. Enhance. Just print the damn picture.
Hey, Farvo, what's that place you like to go to with all the stuff on the walls?
Shenanigans? You mean shenanigans?
I love that fucking movie
I know.
so
Super Troopers
much.
is great.
Oh, it's like one of the best, period. I remember seeing that movie and being dragged to go see it. I'm like, I don't really want to go to a movie. And they're like, no, come on, it's going to be funny. I'm like, okay. Laughed my ass off so goddamn much. It's like seeing Clerks 2.
Oh,
I think my friend he went into an asthma attack because he was laughing so hard at that movie.
I still remember the night I saw Super Troopers too. So my boy Anthony and my cousin Ernie, we went to In-N-Out Burger before we went to the movies. And I saw a friend there I hadn't seen since her wedding. Like, oh, how are things going? Oh, I'm getting a divorce.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's a hell of a thing. I'm like, everything else is good, right? And I got kicked out of the place I was living at. It's like, this is when it was popular that, Southwest, you want to get away? like when it first came out. Yeah. And I'm sitting there like, and my cousin Ernie tried to help me out. He's like, oh, yeah, you did something different with your hair or something like that. It's
this is divorce hair.
And she's like, no, she's just like, oh yeah, I know. Like pretty much blew him off to talk to me again. And I was just like, oh man.
Oh no.
I'm like, it was good to see you.
I
felt like shit, dude. I mean, I didn't know, but you
don't know, but you feel bad because you're doing whatever it is, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm going to lay everything out right here, right now.
Exactly.
She didn't necessarily have to do that either at the same time.
We were close enough friends, that's why.
Well, I get it. But if there were other people around, like with your cousin being there, like...
Well, she also knew my cousin.
Like, was she that, close to your cousin as well, as close as you were? So, I mean, I'm not saying that she can't do it, but there's a time and a place. Like, if it was just two of you together, I'd be like,
I think part of it is to this. We all went to school together. She actually graduated the same year as my cousin, so she knew. I mean, maybe they were closer than I thought. I don't know. I just know. I feel like we're closer than. Yeah, but anyway, like I said, I'm not trying to drag this out. I just basically. So that was before Super Troopers.
Let's get into it even more. How about that?
So after that we left the In-N-Out and went straight to the theater, and
and then you saw Super Troopers.
Yeah, and I was left my ass up with Super Troopers. It became one of my top comedies of all time. Like, it's up there with Spaceballs. Like, in my eyes, Super Troopers is right up there with Spaceballs.
Oh yeah. I think getting quotable, of course, I've gotten a lot more into TikTok than I probably should have, but I like seeing that one come up where it's like the girl, she's like, what's one clip that lives in your head? And there's so many goddamn like movies and quotes and whatever that I'd be like, I could be on here for like 10 minutes. Here's the scene from Blazing Saddles. Here's Spaceballs. Here's Super Troopers.
That reminds me. So I actually did one of those.
I think I saw that.
Yeah.
I may have actually liked it too. Ooh.
So this is actually, my brother just sent me this last night. This says, Blazing Saddles has been edited for TV. It will now air tonight from 8 to 8:07. I don't know if you can...
You can kind of see it.
I'm getting a text.
Oh, you're getting a text.
Yeah. Anyways, I started cracking up, but I texted him back with, I still think that might be too long. Ow, fucking bitch.
Where the white women at?
Where the white women at?
That's actually the scene, too.
Yeah.
Fucking Mongo.
Mongo just pawn in the game of life.
I always think of SR-71 when I see that movie and everything with that song Right Now, because the lyric goes, wonder if a Mel Brooks movie could be made today. Yeah. And that song, Politically Correct. Not Right Now. That's the wrong song. No, Politically Correct is the one that opens the album.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's... you know what? I understand it. I guess, things change, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But PC, that's been around forever, and what is PC has changed since the 50s.
Yeah. The thing is there's a difference between, being racist and then doing, you think that they forced all those black guys on that movie while using the N-word, you know what I mean? They get what Mel Brooks was doing.
Yeah, and we've talked about it before, but the way the movie was written, it was written by Mel Brooks and Richard Pryor. And Richard Pryor wrote all the white parts, and Mel Brooks wrote all the black parts. And originally, Mel Brooks did not want to do that at all. But Richard Pryor was like, no, you're Jewish, so you doing this because there's a struggle behind you as well in your culture, that if you write it, it's going to be funnier. And he's basically was worried the whole time that he's writing these lines of dialogue, and he would go over to Pryor and say, is this okay? And Pryor would be like, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Well, you notice in the one scene, he never says it.
Oh, no, he doesn't say it. He stays away from Yeah. But there is that's a fucking classic scene with the town and him riding into town and doing all that stuff. Yeah. It's still fucking hilarious.
No, darn it, he's a ding! What did he say? He said the sheriff is near.
It's great. It's such a great movie. I mean, yeah, it's one of those movies, and I know that we've talked to Back in Time, oh, you guys should do it, and he's like, and I'm like, come on, dude, it's just a Mel Brooks movie, right? There's just as bad stuff in something like Spaceballs. There's the scene, with, you got the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. Yeah. But there's also the scene in the desert where they pan to the white guy, they pan to the white guys, and then they pan to the two black guys with the afro pick. Yeah. And nobody thinks twice about that scene because all he says, "We ain't seen shit.
We ain't found shit.
Oh, we ain't found shit. I'm sorry."
Surrounded by assholes.
Yo. The other two are downstairs.
Speaking of that, so my dad randomly texts my brother and my sister and myself. And it wasn't even the two black guys, but it was two of the white guys combing the desert. He goes, and he puts, "Have you guys found anything yet?" And my brother responds with, because I saw the text, but I was doing something. Yeah. And he responds back first with, "We ain't found shit." And I put LOL or something. And then here comes my sister. "What are you guys talking about?" Ugh. And my dad puts Jack Sparrow huh? And before I can respond, my brother's like, "It's a scene from a movie." And I go, "It's a sad effing day if you don't know what fucking movie that's from." I go, "You've been around this family long enough, and me watching it not to know." Oh. She goes like this. She gets one of these emojis, where they put their hands up, ooh.
Yeah, I feel like that's sometimes like I don't want to be like her generation, but they know what the fuck that it is. but they were like, oh.
Yeah. So I responded with
acknowledge it.
So then I responded with a gift that was like, how many assholes do I got on this ship? Yo! I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Keep firing, assholes! Did you see that one TikTok I sent to you with the guy that did the reverse image thing, and he did the whole scene of When Will Then Be Now?
That one. Was it in the group one?
I think it was in the group one that I sent it.
I have to try
you should go back up. It's a guy, and he's doing the scene, but he's got like the simulated image behind him, and so he looks back like he's looking at it. When is this? And he does it really well, you know.
When will then be now?
Soon. Where he locked himself in his car and ate himself to death. You got to put the pause in there.
Yeah. And ate himself to death.
Oh,
Pizza
man.
Hut.
It's such a great movie.
Tell him. Yeah. Otherwise, pizza will be sending out for you.
Got to get that head nod in there, too.
You.
We're not doing this just for the money. We're doing this for a shitload of money.
You know what? You're right. And when you're right, you're right.
And
you're always right.
You're always right. That was so much fun to do that with back in time, because while we were doing it on Zoom, both you and I were acting out the scenes, and they didn't do the video of that.
Yeah.
For that one.
You know what we should do?
What's that?
If Back in Time doesn't want to do Blazing Saddles, we should do it on it be like that.
Yeah, we could do it.
And have them on our show.
Have them come over and be like, look, we figured you guys didn't want to do Blazing Saddles, so you're going to come over here, and we're going to talk Blazing Saddles.
Yep.
And then maybe we'll do History of the World Part 1, just so we can do, we're Jews in space.
Oh, man, that was close. We almost lost a $400 card. He's like, we think there's some quicksand up ahead. You want me to send some horses? Hell no, we can't afford to lose no horses. Oh.
Maybe we should have just called this one Mel Brooks chat.
Yeah.
So, steering the ship back in the direction that we should be going, because that's what a host does. Sometimes.
He's doing it at ludicrous speed.
That's right. Brian, he's gone plaid.
He's like, no, what you're about to tell me is, we need to get back on track, you fat bearded bitch. He's, I'm the bearded lady. Who are you? One of the freaks?
Anyway, so let's get back on track. So we've got a couple different things that we're going to talk about today. Good thing we're doing this. There's one thing that I thought we should talk about since we didn't do anything. We saw it last night. So let's talk about Willy's Wonderland a little bit.
I enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, a little later on after.
Forget I said that.
Forget that from your memory. Anything. We'll do that because we're still got to get into how are you doing. So we're going to do a little chat on that. We're also going to talk about some of our favorite movies. It's going to be an open chat. Normally we'd have a list 5-10 movies or whatever. And then we're going to talk, I think, a little bit about some of the bad things that we saw, and then some of the games we played last year. And then and of course
we were
also
supposed to make a list.
Quick Super Bowl talk, and that'll be it for the episode. But I want to get in first. How are you doing, Patrick?
Well, considering the fact that this week is over, super. Thanks for asking.
He's super. Thanks for asking.
Jazz hands. I think I've asked this before. What would you prefer, jazz hands or spirit fingers?
Jazz hands. It's always jazz hands.
I don't know. I think I have to go with spirit fingers.
Oh, jazz hands. I realize I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore last time when we did this.
Yeah, he never changed it, guys.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks and I'm wearing the same shit.
Well, I was going to come in my undershirt, but then I actually dropped some egg yolk on it, so like a fat ass.
Oh, so then he's got to show the egg yolk on the screen. There you go. There's some egg yolk for you.
That might get us
wouldn't say that you've got egg on your face, but it's on your chest. No.
It was funny. I'm like leaning over the plate, and the one time I looked back like this, I brought my hand like this, it dripped.
Yeah. What you have with those eggs?
Well, Crystal tried to make this egg thing. I think I sent it to you guys.
Yeah, I saw that when I was scrolling through originally.
She was trying to make that egg thing from TikTok and messed up, but just turned into a regular egg sandwich, and it was still delicious.
There's a couple. I started following this Mexican lady, and she shows you how to make all sorts of, like, she did a torta thing, and then the reason that I started following her is because she showed how to simply make horchata, and I'm gonna go back and actually try to make some horchata. Nice. It looks pretty. And she made strawberry horchata, so she actually took the strawberries and she soaked them and blended them and then mixed them with the horchata that she made from scratch. So it sounds like that might be a fun project to do.
Well, this makes me think of talking about Mexican food. We were just talking on chat. I was it was with Mr. L over there on Twitch. Go check him out. We were playing Fall Guys, and we were somehow. So people in the chat were asking us like different things, and then one of them was like best. I think we were talking about like bands and stuff. Then they were trying to compare bands and stuff. So then they were like, "All right, best boy band," and Ito jumped in there and was like, "Oh, who's the best boy band? And why is it Menudo or something like that?" And Josh goes, "Menudo? Who the fuck? Don't be making shit up." I go, "Dude,
you don't know who fucking Menudo is?"
I was like, "Dude."
Oh, well, of course, Menudo was like 80s.
But also more all Spanish.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, "Well, that's the group that Ricky Martin came from." He said, "What?" So then his wife got in there. She's like, "That's not a real thing." And Crystal jumped on the mic and was talking to Alex like, "Oh, no, Menudo was, da-da-da." And I'm like, she's like, nah. I'm like, look, just because you didn't listen to Espanol, don't mean it's not a real thing. And so then Josh was like, "I'm going to look this up." And I said, "All right. Now, when you look up Menudo, add band in there, because if you type in Menudo, you're going to get a soup." So you want to look up Menudo, the band.
Menudo, the band.
Well,
yeah, I know.
You just type in Menudo.
Yeah, see, all I got was all these, like, soup recipes and this one Goya product that's, like, pre-made Menudo. You guys are fucking liars, man.
That's a soup, you lying ass.
Fucking lying-ass liars. But, yeah, fucking Mexicans. Always thinking about food.
Well, that's definitely Alex. Every time we get on stream, "When are you going to make me albondigas?"
Well, here, I'll send you the recipe. You make it for yourself.
It's not the same.
It's not the same as what you make it?
Yep.
I've gotten really good at making cream of potato soup.
Yeah, I heard you were talking to Crystal about that. I mean, I haven't got a bowl or nothing, so that's fucked up, but,
Well, yeah, And I made my famous buffalo chicken dip. For the
Super Bowl.
I
didn't get none of that either.
I actually have some of that you can take home if you really want to, but it's almost a week old.
Yeah, I'm all, it's good.
It's so good. My stomach, it's going to be like Homer in the sandwich that kept for weeks.
Anyways, so
sleeping
back
with
to
your bowl of buffalo chicken and it's black.
Yeah, it's just black and like fucking spores shooting out. And
this is how you eating the Buffalo Ranch chicken dip again? It's so good.
It's spores shooting out, and that's the way fucking The Last of Us starts.
Well, at least it'll get Crystal first.
But yeah, anyways, no. So last week our system went down. So they get this new system. This is the kicker right here. The night before, we get this email. The new system is great. It's faster. It's better. Bigger, stronger, faster. Da da da. Next day, system completely down to the whole fucking company.
That's always the thing when you switch to something brand new and you do things like that. The moment that it goes live, everything breaks.
Well, my thing was, it seemed like it's the exact same thing as the other system. They say it's faster, and I think I might have noticed when it actually was working for me, it was a little faster, but whatever.
Bigger, better, faster, longer.
I just feel like it's people justifying jobs. I always say that when this is better
things,
and newer.
yeah.
It's like, but there's nothing wrong with this one. Why?
Well, it's like when they change the UI up on something, and it's like, I know Menace has said this a ton, but it's like they're doing it just to justify. And even we do it as a company, but at the same time, we are adding things, and we're trying to simplify the UI because we've gotten so much, like, feedback from people that say, oh, this part sucks.
Yeah.
But then what they do is they change the part that sucks, but then the part that was great about the fucking app or whatever it is, it completely fucking disappears too. And you're like, well, what's the fucking point?
Just bullshit. But
What's the big fucking deal, bitch?
so I get a call. So Wednesday was that day they had the accident on the freeway. And Angelo had hit me up like, hey, bro, because he left work late. He's like, hey, bro, you might want to take the back way because there's an accident. I said, oh, thanks. Good looking. So I'm driving. I get to the point of Mission where either you make a left and go up Mission or you go, well, either way, you got to make a left. I mean, either you stay on Mission or you curve right and go on to Jackson, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm talking to Miles. I'm not blaming Miles, but I'm talking to him, and I think all of a sudden I looked up and I go, oh, fuck, I'm on the freeway. Like, I went into autopilot mode and just... So, going down the freeway, it was fine. I go, you know what? I can start to see it getting bad. I go, I'll get off on Thornton. Should have got off on Dakota.
Oh, I ended up making it to Thornton and getting off there. But I think by the time that you probably got there, because I was going to call you too, but I didn't notice until I basically got to Thornton and I looked at the time because I was running late that day thanks to somebody.
We all were, apparently.
And then I was like, well, he's probably already in this mess, so I'm just going to get off. Fuck that guy. But I was also thinking, how the fuck am I going to get to work on time? Like, cause that was the day I think I stayed up where the fucking thing crashed on me, and it was, it was one of the things I was up late the night before. I don't remember which. That was on Thursday, wasn't it?
Thursday?
Thursday?
That was Thursday.
Yeah, it's okay. There was a different reason I was up late, but it was still video editing.
Ghost of Tsushima?
No, that was last night. And I woke up at 7 this morning. I'd like to thank you very much. But I had to watch WandaVision and, some other things.
So, I watched it last night, WandaVision.
Oh.
And Hell's Kitchen.
You know what? I haven't watched Hell's Kitchen so long. I just kind of like watching Gordon Ramsay by himself.
We'll go to his TikTok.
I do. I follow him.
But anyways.
It's the best thing. Especially when you called out that vegan lady. That was hilarious. But nonetheless.
Anyway, so I get off on Thornton. I finally get to it. And I get to work surprisingly about the same time I normally would.
Well, that's good.
Luckily, because I know the back ways and I cut through. But as I'm right around the corner from my job, I get a call. It's from one of my supervisors. And he's like, just so you know, the system's down all throughout the company. And I said, fuck. So you're like, so what you're saying is we're closed today. He started laughing. Yeah, that wasn't the case.
No.
So I'm like,
it never is.
So now at this point, as I'm talking to him, I'm mentally preparing myself for like, fuck, I'm going to have to write out all these fucking invoices. Invoices. I did it again. Invoices and fuck you. And I'm just it's gonna be a fucking hell day, and I already knew it was gonna be busy. It was hella busy, and it was still kind of fucking hectic. But luckily, that same supervisor who called me, for some reason, it was working on his laptop. I guess they were able to get a couple people working, and it was happened to work on his laptop. So I'm sending him my orders, and I guess other people were too. So he was doing it for like our Rancho store and our Concord store. Mm-hmm. But he would type it all out, send it to my printer. We would finalize it because the guns were working, and because the guns are on the same system. And then when we needed it finalized, I just sent him hey, finalize this number, and he would finalize it and print it. So it still kind of fucked the day up, but luckily...
But it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
It could have been, exactly. So then, Thursday. Hallelujah. System's back up and running throughout the whole company, but my store. I was like, son of a bitch. So luckily I only had to go through it for half the morning. By about 2 o'clock it seemed to be working. and it wasn't as busy. I was still there a couple times. Like they're like, "Oh man, you can relax now." I'm like, I've been fine this whole time. There's a couple times I just had to be like, "You're cool, and then I was fine. Like it's just because it's frustrating that you're used to working at a certain pace, and then you have to keep stopping, or you have to keep. The other thing that was pissing me off is like, oh, the system's working, so I get into it, and then it would crash on me. Well, the problem is if you're in the in invoice, now that invoice is locked, and I'll have to call a number to get a hold of the tech support. It's not even because my company used to be able to do it. The company who owns the IMAX or whatever the hell it's called won't allow my company to do it anymore. They have to unlock the invoices. So then I have to call them. I called the guy like 5 times within an hour to fix shit.
That keeps that company employed. those jobs around.
Yeah. So, but anyways, Friday was a lot better, and even though we were down a guy because he took he had asked for the day off, and so he was just off. But I'm looking at days coming up, and I'm just like, I think I'm going to take a day just to have like a 3-day weekend or something.
Yeah, I know we have Monday off, but officially,
Lucky.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those days where I kind of don't really want it off. Like it's not
fuck
a standard.
No.
Like fuck the presidents. It's not a standard holiday for everybody, right?
Yeah.
And I'd rather have a different holiday that almost everybody else has off, but we don't later on in
Cinco
the
de Mayo.
Maybe. But no, like when you get into like
Cinco de Mayo.
when you get into like November and not November, like October, but even in the like summer months, there are a couple of times where maybe just having a day somewhere there besides like July 4th, but just being able to take the time off or whatever, or just having random, because there's usually a big set after this from basically February all the way to July 4th. There's nothing. Yeah. So something in between would be better, and we just had one with what was the last holiday? MLK Day, I think, or whatever it was.
I didn't have that off. Last holiday I had was New Year's.
But they pick the most random fucking holidays to have off too.
The only days we get off are New Year's, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Oh, 4th of July.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just realized I skipped 4th of July.
Well, and then in some cases, like if 4th of July falls on a Saturday, like our company doesn't give us any of those extra days, even though they're supposed to give us Friday or Monday, depending on when it goes.
That's what our company does. If it's like this year, Christmas is on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we'll get the Friday off. If it was on Sunday, then we would get the Monday off.
Right.
So
it is what it is. I'm not going to complain, but I know that I'm probably going to end up working some because there's stuff I still need to do. Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, there's nobody that's been.
Well, your salary anyway, so
yeah, so it doesn't really fucking matter.
Like I said, I'm not bitching about my company days off. I mean, I wouldn't mind an extra day, but I know. Whatever.
But I have to take off this Friday, or I have to take a half day this Friday because I'm gonna have an ophthalmology appointment. Where they're going to, because I went and did the eye screen thing. Yeah. Now they're going to have to dilate my eyes because they found something that they want to look at. And the only way they can see it is if they dilate my eyes. So they scheduled me an appointment. And I keep telling fucking Kaiser, I'm like, look, don't call. You can call me after 2 o'clock. Please call me after 2 because I will be home. I'm like, but if you call me between 8:30 a.m. and 1:30, I am not going to answer the phone because I'm at work. And I don't want to talk about medical stuff in front of other people because even though there's not a whole lot of people there, I don't want to take the call. And
you have your own office?
I have my own office, but it's just I don't like doing that. I don't feel comfortable. It's just a stupid thing in my head, I know. But when I'm here by myself, that's fine. But
no, I get what you're saying, but I'm just thinking
every time at 9 o'clock in the morning.
I'm just saying if you have your own office, you go in there and shut the door for a few minutes. I mean.
Yeah, I could, but usually that's also we have to get all our shipments out by 10 o'clock because that's when the pickup is. So I'm usually not in my office, and I'm in these last couple of weeks because somebody's girlfriend's sister caught COVID but didn't tell anybody until the last possible minute when the girlfriend caught COVID. No, he was already not in the office. Oh. That he didn't come in for 2 weeks, so I took over the shipping when I'm no longer responsible for that because I'm the boss. Yeah. Like I shouldn't be doing that shit. because I have other shit that I need to do, and now here I am doing that. So, lots of fun. But yeah, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt the rest of your story.
I mean, that was pretty much it. So I'm just happy it's the weekend. We're getting the UFC fight tonight. You coming over?
I don't know, to be honest.
You're coming over.
You
missed the last one, man.
I missed the Royal Rumble. I just am not that into the wrestling stuff.
Oh, I thought you had something to do, so you lied to me. Lies.
I did have something else to do, but I was doing laundry, to be honest with you. Well, I need clothes, man.
I got a laundry machine in my house.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna bring my
you got a
shit
fucking basket.
Shit.
Just throw it in there. I'm not gonna say wash your drawers with my drawers.
But nonetheless, again, the other part of it is I was just kind of like, like the UFC stuff. I think is interesting, and if I get the chance to, I'll go by there. The other thing is you've seen there isn't a wife at home, so she's gonna want to spend time.
Well, that's her fault for leaving. Tough shit. You made plans. You got tomorrow. There's no football.
There is no football. That's what I tell her now, because she wanted to do something last Sunday. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you know what the day is. I'm like, it's the Super Bowl. It's like even today, she calls and she's like, I'm like, oh yeah, Pat's going to come by. We're going to do the podcast. Patrick's coming by? You didn't tell me. I'm like, every other weekend, Pat comes by and we record this podcast. Last weekend I did my own. So you should automatically know this weekend Pat's coming by.
You gave a shit about my life.
Yeah, that's what it feels like sometimes. It's just like, really? Like, you're so wrapped up in everything else that you're fucking doing that when it comes to anything that I'm fucking doing, it's like it's brand new news to you. And it's, but I don't want to get into personal shit right now. Yeah.
That's why I went like this. Mm-hmm.
Shut the fuck up.
How you doing? How you doing?
It's just been, I don't know. It's been whatever. I've just been working a ton. You know, Wednesday, the night before that whole thing, the traffic thing in the morning. I've been working on these tutorial videos I told you about.
Yeah.
And basically how to do shit at our company. And the videos have been taking hours and hours of work. And the one that pissed me off the most was Thursday night, where I was working on the stuff, and I guess for some reason during the between going through a new file and an old file, it didn't quite save anything. So when I had to close it, it completely like cleared out the container of like files and stuff. So like all of the files themselves were in the working part of Premiere. But none of the video, like how I cut everything and how I matched the audio, none of that was done. So I had to go back in there and I had to redo it. And this was at 11:45 at night, and I think I was up to almost 2 after when I finally hit the thing to say, okay, render, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
But luckily I didn't have to like record the audio again or redo the script, like none of that stuff. That's what took the longest on that one. So I've just been doing a lot of that this week, and it's been, like, just ridiculous. And then, you know, with everything else going on, just trying to... Kat supposed to get her second shot, I think, on Wednesday. I think that's what she's going to get, so she's going to be fully vaccinated, which is good for her. And, yeah, then we had the COVID thing at work. To which I found out when I talked to one of the other people that I work with that does the HR, and I'm like, what's the protocol here? And she's like, well, what's going on? I'm like, well, he tested double negative already.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and so I was like, okay, so do we need to go get tested? Do we need to do this? She's like, well, if you want to, you know, you can go get tested, but since it's negative, you don't really need to. But because he's been in contact, if his doctor says quarantine, then he has to quarantine, you know? Yeah. So, which is fine. That's the way that it should be done, you know? So he was out for the last 2 weeks. And, you know, I just, like I said earlier, had to take over his shit. So there was extra work for me to do on top of everything else that I needed to do, and people complaining to me that some of the other stuff's not getting done. And I'm just like, well, if you guys didn't come to me to do X and Y and do this and do that.
And Z.
And, yeah, exactly. And, like, I don't think people know what exactly I do all day. I think some people think I just sit there and don't do anything. And it's like the people that work with me constantly see me going in and out and doing new things, and it's just like, okay, everybody that works with me directly knows exactly what I'm doing, but everybody else wants me to be like, I'm not on top of the customer service aspect of my job. I'm not really doing it anymore, but at the same time, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do that for the rest of my life.
But I mean, if you have other people with you too, that they should be able to take care of that while you take care of other things.
Right, but they are also taking care of the stuff that I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Like the shipping stuff is fine. It's because I get there when nobody's there and I can get it done really, really fast. But that's for somebody else while he's out there doing it. But we have somebody else that the two other people come in the other days of the week, but not every day, and they basically flip-flop of what the other one's doing. So one person's taking tickets during the whole day, and then normally it's two people doing tickets, and that's kind of the way it was. They actually got our tickets down to basically nothing, which is great. And for a while ago, it was like we were at 100 and something, and it just wouldn't go down. And then with the...
You're supposed to call a doctor after 4 hours.
That's true. That's terrible. But there are people that... There are things that I do that people don't have access to.
Yeah.
Because it contains sensitive information that they can't have access to. But I'd love to train some people to do some other things, is what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is, like, at your next meeting, you guys have meetings every week. Just be like, I just want to make something known real quick. I feel like people think in this company that I sit at my desk and twiddle my thumbs and that you can just throw a bunch of stuff at me. But I have this, I'm taking care of this. You need to understand that I have my own work to do. I don't have time to do your work. If you need help, maybe ask for some help, but don't just assume that I'm sitting here with my thumb up my ass going, ooh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might want to be more delicate, but,
be more delicate with everybody. Well, it's like this whole thing. So the thing that they're doing, which I do... Why are you sniffing your thumb? That's disgusting. After it's been up that booty hole, gotta... Hey, clean. It smells like Irish Spring. How do you know what I use? But the thing is,
Old Spice
that
body wash.
They're doing we're going to do a new initiative, and this is why I did the tutorial things, where everybody in the company has to spend 1 week being a customer service agent. So they see all the tickets, they do the shipping, they make all the other things that they have to do. They do everything except for one set of things, because I don't want to buy a seat in NetSuite and have them go into NetSuite.
Yeah.
It's too expensive for one person to even if it's one login, and then they have access to way more than they need to see. Like, even now, that's what freaks me out a little bit. It's not that I'm trying to hide anything, but I feel like some people are going to go look in things and be like, well, I'm going to look and see if I can find what they're talking about. And I'm going to look through all the tickets and do all the... And then other people are just going to do the minimal things. And that's fine. But at least you're going to spend 1 week with me. And the reason I did the videos is so that you're going to watch all this. And then when you come in on Monday, I'm going to quiz you on everything that you watched, so that I made sure that you watched the shit that you watched.
Are you gonna?
It's gonna be a pop quiz, hotshot.
Like with what the Raiders did to Russell Wilson.
Exactly.
Russell Wilson.
Jamarcus
Russell.
Jamarcus, yes. Where they're at
least I caught that pretty quick.
That's pretty good.
I was like, wait a minute, what?
But yeah, it's just. That's the way it is. So I'm going to ask questions based upon the videos. My boss is going to be the first one to be a part of it, and he's going to review the videos, and he's going to tell me what I need to edit or change. And so this is the first pass, and we're going to do the stuff for this.
Every time you've talked about these videos, the only thing I could think about in my head was old school, when Jeremy Piven's sitting there at the end of the desk, and he's telling everybody that they've been kicked out of school. Like, let's pause and reflect. Takes a drink of his coffee. Just keeps going. But see, that's something I wanted to do at my job. And I've been fighting with upper management about this shit. I'm talking about people in corporate, because their thing is to start this new transfer system where it's going to be in the gun. You scan the invoice, or put the invoice in, and then we get stickers that have
the barcodes,
and then all the stuff's on there. Then you scan as you go, so that way you can do different things at once. I personally don't like this. I'd rather have the fucking piece of paper there, and check everything off myself, and like, look, I'm missing something, a box. Let me try to find the boxers instead of scan. Let me go to the next one. Scan. Like I want the damn thing complete and see it in front of my face, and not rely on the computer. Maybe that's just me being old school, whatever. But for the time being, they need to do shit right. When I first got there, and I'm not saying I always say this because whatever, but when I first got there, people were sending transfers and paperwork. I would write on the box, 1 of 2. Like if there's more than one box with this transfer. When I first got there, they were just sending, like, they could be a transfer with 4 boxes, and they just send the boxes. Mm-hmm. No, nothing's marked. I'd write on the fucking box, 1 of 2, 2 of 2, 3 of 4, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the sticker system showed up with the barcode, the transfer number. I also would write the transfer number on there, and there's more than one box. I'm not saying I'm the one that came up with it.
No, but and that's the thing that, like, I've argued with the people in our company where it's been like, hey, they want to automate like everything, and I'm like, no, paper trails. Paper trails are good.
Yes.
Because you have to physically look at everything and you have to write it down. You get into the groove of checking everything you're doing. Because if I'm just beep, 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 that's it. I don't necessarily look at what's going on the screen. Some people do.
Well,
but
no, that's the problem. A lot of people don't.
Right.
And
when you write it down.
So then the other thing is I keep bitching about is I want, like, so what I do is I get like a, what are they called, packet slip envelope. I put the transfer number or the transfer paper packing list in there, put it on one of the boxes. But at least though it already says 1 of 2, so if there's no more, there's more than one. But like what other stores do, one, they don't finalize they finalize it, but then they don't print something, and then they send me the pick pack. Well, the pick pack doesn't look like the finalized one, because if there's a back order, it'll tell you. At this, it's just everything's jumbled. You know what I mean? And it pisses me off. So then, or what they'll do is they'll send all, like corporate does this. They'll put all the packing lists in one envelope, or they put them in a separate envelope. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and I was talking to the guy who's kind of in charge of all of this, and he's like, well, we're changing the system soon. I'm like, I get that. But until they change the system, can we do it right? I go, corporate is, you guys are the worst up there. I mean, I love my company. I'm not bad mouthing my company.
No.
But I'm just like, you guys, I get stuff from you guys, and I have to take time, because they're a hub. It's not just, I'm talking about, there's other stores. I'm not
I understand.
I have to there's no paperwork. Now I have to find the number, go to the computer, get to the screen, type it in, print it out, go back. Where if I had the paperwork right there, they're like, well, we sent it in an envelope and it's supposed to go with it. Maybe your hub store didn't send it to you. And I called it. I go, well, I already talked to them. They didn't have any paperwork. Nothing was sent to them. I go, but if they put it on the box, they shouldn't have to worry about it because it's already on the box. I'm like, it's simple stuff. Something that takes me 20 minutes goes to an hour and a half because I have to keep stopping and going back. Well, when we have the gun, but we don't have it yet. Can we do it right until then? You guys have been talking about this new system for over 2 years now.
And you guys have it, but we don't. And honestly, if you're within the same company, you should make it easier on the people that ultimately have to do the rest of your process.
Yeah.
And if you can't do if they can't do your process, then what does it matter?
I was like,
it doesn't matter that you have a fucking gun.
Yeah, I go, every time I send anything that gets sent out of this store has the stickers on the top. Because other people put them all over the place. It's on the top corner, and and the packing list, unless it's a small box and you can't put it up there with the sticker, it's always right next to it. Unless, like I said, sometimes you get a smaller box, you might have to put it underneath or something, but rare occasions. But the paperwork is with the sticker. You know how many boxes. It's very easy. I go, but when I get stuff, I have to take forever because no one else can get their shit together. And I called everybody out in a meeting. We do a meeting every Tuesday. All of a sudden, like, I had like a whole pallet of stuff with no invoices. I was like, I think they saw that it was coming to my store and purposely did this shit. But I don't know. Like I said, I was thinking about doing a video on how I do it, the process, and how easy it could be to make it easy for everybody else. And I was like, I will send you the video. Upload that shit to the company website.
But it makes sense, right? Everything. And I know I've had arguments with people. They're like, well, why do you do it this way? Why don't you just do this? I'm like, because it forces you to do things. Mm-hmm. And if you're forced to do it and you don't just rely on the system, because we've had it multiple times where the system, yes, I get it. You can make mistakes. You can make errors. But that's why we have a process of this person does it, this person checks it, and this person verifies it, and they're all different people.
Yeah.
And the reason is because we want to make sure that everything matches up.
Yeah.
And this is, like, you talk about pick tickets, and that's what I'm trying to implement next when we do orders, because we're eventually, like, you know, I know you deal in, like, lot numbers and serial numbers and stuff like that, and whenever you have a pick ticket, you have a lot number that needs to go on the pick ticket, because that's what's ultimately going to be processed in the system, and you're working on a first in, first out type of basis. Now, I get it. My stuff is not food. It doesn't have expiration dates. Yeah. Whatever it is. I get it. But I'm like, if we do this now, and then we get to a point that we have it, we're prepared.
Yeah.
We're done. And nobody in the company seems to understand this. Yeah. And I've been pushing, and behind the scenes, this is what I do. And when people come and they do something, and I explain, this is why we're doing this. Yeah. And then they question, well, we don't have to do it right now. I'm like, just because we don't have to do it right now doesn't mean, like, okay, let's take this for example, right? The company that I'm working with is going to start selling a product. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, and I can tell you offline. This product has multiple powers and different types.
Oh, is that time machine you were talking
about? Yes,
that
time machine. You know, that shit. But when they're like, okay, all we have to do for right now, just so that we can get it up, is just the 4 different companies that we're going to work with that make this product. Okay? We're just going to put those 4, only those 4 on the store, and then we're just going to upload the one, you know, where they're going to have to upload something to us, right? And the customer is, and then that's it. And then you're going to work out based on what's uploaded what the power of this, the power of this, and the power of this has to be to make that specific product.
And the power of love.
And the power of love. So it's the power of earth, power of fire, and power of love. Him and his goddamn monkey can actually do something at this point.
Heart.
But I explained to him, I'm like, look, if you want us, if there's going to be an API, or we're going to send the order over, you have to match apples to apples. You can't have an apple and expect it to come out to be an orange once you set it up. And I said, I have to set these up as all individual products.
Yeah.
Right? No matter what it is, because we already have something else that's very similar. And I said, I had to make 540 different part numbers because that's how it needs to be done. And I'm like, because we need to build it, right? We this is something we actually physically build in-house. So, you know, you take these 2 things, you take this something else, and then it makes it. And then in the system, we put them all together. We fusion dance with it, yes. Even though there's no fusions on here. And so I told them, I said, it is more work up front, but it'll be right when we go to the system that you want eventually. I said, but right now, yes. I said, and it really doesn't even take that much. It's really just, I put it all on a CSV file, I upload it in the system, all of them are made. But I have to do a little bit of work filling everything out. And they're like, you should just do it this way and it's just going to be faster. I'm like, I get it. But this is my opinion. Doing the operational work, this is the operations opinion.
Yeah, and the fact that, like you said, also once the other system goes up, everybody's already into the habit.
Correct. And the thing is they're already in the habit because of the other thing that I do. Mm-hmm. And so, like, after that, it's like, okay, well, that's going. And the thing is that we're not even going to be the ones shipping this product when we do it. We work with a distributor to do it. But if we need to connect into their system, I need my system to tell their system exactly what it is. So I'm going to say, this is my part number. This connects to your part number. They translate the orders in. And that way, at that point, I can do what you want me to do. Press a button.
Yep.
And it's done. But it takes me time, and I'm like, it's better for us to set it up this way now. Take the time. If we start right now...
And make sure it works properly.
Right.
While...
And if it starts right now, then I can get it done by the time that you want it to be done.
Yep.
For the basics. So I'm just... But it's those things that... These people that are in these higher level things, they have all these great ideas and ways they think that they can make everything work better, but they don't go down to the nitty gritty and they don't see what the effect it has on the people that are actually doing the work. Yep. And it helps when you have somebody that in this situation, I'm going to say with you and me, that did that work before and have come up. Rather than I am already a management type and I don't have any idea of what's going on at that level. I've just made these processes. No, I'm taking my past experience. I'm using this. This is what works. And I understand the guys because I used to be one of those guys doing this type of stuff. And this is my system that makes it quicker. And I know it makes it better for them. And your system doesn't work. Here's why.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, I've been doing warehouse work and stuff like this forever. I know how to make a warehouse work and function. And, you know, like that whole thing with writing on the boxes, I was doing that when I was moving furniture, when we get stuff in the UPS, because it was like getting to the point where it's like we'd have a job and things would come in slowly. And it's like, oh, well, this said we were supposed to have 4 boxes, but I only see 3. And I'm like, well, how many did we decide for? He's like, you know, there's always an issue. So I got there and said, okay, this came in. I wrote down the thing, put how many boxes on with the date. So, you know, when we delivered all 4 boxes on the 5th. Well, I have it right here. We had only 2 boxes, and it was written on your invoice once you look. Mm-hmm. You know, and you know, it's like it's other things too. It's just like I have guys when they check stuff off. Like I explained, like you can get the same product from 2 different orders. So you can't just take Paul's order and count it as Peter's order.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like he's like, well, why not? What's the difference? I'm like, because what if we're short on this order? They shorten us on this order, but not this order. Now, this one still is out in the abyss, and this one now is short. Like you have to like look at the box. That's why we have the transfer numbers on there. That transfer goes with this one. So don't mark it off on this order. Mark it on the correct order. Oh, yeah. There's a method to why I'm telling you to do this.
There's always a method to our madness.
Exactly.
And that's what I have to explain to everybody. It looks weird on the outside, but then when you go into it and you get into my system or you get into the way... Look, and I tell all of my guys, every time I train somebody, I say, look, I'm going to tell you the way that I do it. And the reason I do it this way is because, to me, this makes sense. And at the same time, this is faster for me. So start doing it like I do it. But if you find areas that you can improve how I do it, do it. What makes it better for you? Yeah. And then come back and tell me, you know what? I've been doing this like how you did it, but I see that this is a little different. We'll talk. We can make changes going forward.
That was like when we first opened our store. I was trying to set it up similar to how my old store was. Mm-hmm. And that basically is like you'd have sandpaper that go together, like you would be by each other. Polish pads and polish would be together. And the way my company, they do it by numerical. So sometimes, though, the numbers for stuff that matches, they're 2 wildly different numbers, so they're in 2 different spots. And they're like, oh, no, this is how we do it. I'm like, okay, fine. And I hadn't been to it.
This is how we do it.
No. But no, we have everything been located, but still, it's like, but when I'm trying to explain stuff to certain new people that don't have no idea, because I don't know everything myself. But that's how I kind of learned. Like, well, this goes with this, and this goes with this. This is why I usually put it together, but we don't do it like that here, and that's fine. They're like, yeah, dude, it would make sense to have this with this. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not going to fight the company on that. That's something they do company-wide. I'm not changing that. But anyways, I don't know. But
I think we've gone on a lot with this.
Well, I see. The reason why I kept saying, too, I really like my company. We just had to sign something saying, about talking crap about
talking about the crap of the company.
But honestly, like I said,
Global Port.
No, honestly, I didn't send the name of the company at all anyways. But
well, no, I know.
And my thing is when I'm bitching about one or two things. Who doesn't? And even I love my job. I absolutely love my job. They've taken care of me greatly there.
Well,
but that doesn't mean there's stuff that happens where you're just like, I wish this was different.
But you're not talking shit about the company. What you're doing is you're just giving critical thought to the company.
Yeah.
Right? You're just trying to see where, and it's the same thing with mine. I really love the people that I work with. Do they drive me fucking crazy sometimes? Hell yes. It doesn't matter. You spend more time with these people and these goddamn companies than you spend with your own family, and your family probably pisses you off as much, and you still live with them, so you can deal with the fucking company that you work with.
Well, see, that's an attitude I like to have. Like, as bad as Wednesday was, I didn't come into work even not knowing if the system was working or not. I still came in with a positive attitude. Mm-hmm. Like, I have guys that something happened, they're pissy about it, and they come in the next day still pissy about it. Like, they can't let part of it go. And it's like, dude, you have to come in every day like it is a new day. Like, granted, that doesn't mean that you're not irritated about something that happened, but you got to come in positive. You can't think already that this day is going to be just like yesterday, and this is going to happen, or this is going to happen, because then one, you're just going to piss off everybody else around you.
Yep.
And two, negative thoughts bring negative things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's just going to make it worse for you being at that company if you keep thinking in such a negative way. I'm thankful for what my company has done for us, and this whole thing that's going on. They've been extremely supportive of everybody. They may do things that people don't agree with, but you got to look at like you said, the golden lining of things. There are people that refuse to come in, and when they need to come in.
Yeah.
But you know what? Our company has gotten to the point where they understand how people are in this thing, and not many other companies would be like, okay, you can go ahead, keep working from home, even though you need to be here.
The sad thing is that there's a lot of people though taking advantage.
There's plenty of people taking advantage of everything, and it sucks. And those people are dumb. Yeah. But we should just move along. Bitches be crazy. Bitches be tripping all the time, man. So I guess not to get too much of a rant, but how was your Super Bowl?
Fuck that Super Bowl. I didn't win no money. I hate, as a Raider fan, it brings a lot of bad taste in my mouth to say I wanted Kansas to win, because fuck Tom Brady. He ain't the GOAT. Fuck anybody. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. If you think he's the GOAT, you're wrong, but you're entitled to your wrong opinion. Now, he ain't great. He ain't the greatest.
He almost threw the Lombardi trophy in the ocean.
that was actually kind of funny. But look at Gronk with the last one he won when he was in Boston, going to throw out the first pitch, and someone threw a ball at him, and he batted the ball with the Lombardi trophy.
This isn't fucking hockey. That's not the fucking Stanley Cup that you're swinging around. You're not taking out a jet ski out in the ocean.
Oh man! But you know what? There's controversy around too many of his wins, and I don't give a shit. What I'm going to say this too. I've watched a couple Kansas City games this year, especially because they played the Raiders.
Yep.
I haven't seen them get that many penalties all year.
No.
Where did all those penalties come from?
And as a 49er fan, in this regard, those calls should have been made last year during the Super Bowl as well, and they didn't get fucking called.
But all of a sudden
this year, their offensive lineman can be holding Nick Bosa right here as he's about to sack Patrick Mahomes, and it's obvious as day. Oh, just let him play. Holding in the secondary, just let him play. And then here in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady, Oh, nope. Don't let him play.
For example, greatest
foul,
example
foul.
is, like I said, against Green Bay. I mean, that interception right before the half, the guy was yanking the shit out of the Green Bay's jersey. Yeah. You can see his shoulder pads and everything. They don't call that. The guy barely touches the Buccaneers' elbow, and all of a sudden, fucking pass interference, like it was like affected the play or some shit. Whatever. Like I said, I'm not gonna throw my shit on it. I said what I had to say.
And I don't give a shit further.
I don't give you a shit about your rebuttal. You can argue till you're blue in the face. I'm done saying what I'm saying. He's not the fucking greatest of all time because there's too much controversy. And you know what? All he did was the LeBron James. That's why he ain't the greatest either. He had to go to another team, and like they're like, oh, the coaching staff is so great, motherfucker. You put together a super fucking team. And I saw one of the best memes I saw though was about Antonio Brown. Fuck that guy. He should not have been allowed back in the league.
No way.
There's no way he should have been allowed, especially that far into the season. All of a sudden he's just back. Fuck that. But anyways, and that would have been any team. I don't give a shit. No. Any team.
All the shit that he talked about the NFL, how he never wants to go back, never wants to do this, that they don't deserve him back, that all the fucking off-field fiascos that he was doing, that thing with his baby mama where he threw everybody fucking out of the house, and just whatever he's done, he's not a person that should be in the fucking NFL.
But
period.
Yeah. But the greatest meme, one of the greatest memes I saw was Antonio Brown. He's like the guy who's in the group that who did the awesome project and did nothing but still got an A+.
Yep.
Pretty much. And as much as I'm talking shit, I have shared a couple of these TikToks that were pretty fucking funny. Like I sent you the one where it's the end of Rogue One with Darth Vader.
Oh yeah,
that was funny. The other one was Tom Brady was on Bob Barker, and Patrick Mahomes was on Happy Gilmore. He's like, "You want some of me, old man?" Beats the shit. That was funny. I can laugh. No, I can laugh at it.
Memes
it is what it is.
That's what they are.
That's funny. What they're for. But at the end of the day, controversy around too many of his Super Bowls.
Yep.
There's, in general, he had to put together a super team. Fuck you, Scott, because all of a sudden, I hate the Bucs. I'll never root for those guys again. I'm a Niner fan. Oh wait, I'm a Raider fan. Oh wait, they got Tom Brady. They got this super team. Let me go. I got a tattoo. I'm a super Brady fan. A Bucs fan again.
He was a football fan, remember? Just a football fan. I just like watching football. And you know I collect all this stuff. It's a bunch of bullshit, man. Yeah. But I'm not going to let him do whatever, ruin my parade, or anything like that. It's just what it is. I didn't really care about
what I call out.
Any of the commercials stand out to you that you think that you really enjoyed?
The Tracy Morgan ones were funny.
Those were pretty good, where it was like...
But there really wasn't.
But it wasn't...
Yeah, there really wasn't.
I was surprised with the lack of like movie trailers.
Well, but they just don't know if they're going to be able to be out. So
that's true. Why spend the money?
Yeah. And then that Legends one with the Bud Light.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah. I was upset they didn't have the frogs, though.
I just like the part with the guy, the singing guy, and like everybody's carrying all the Bud Lights, and he's like, putting back the Bud Light. Is that all you do? Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
That was great.
But
I don't. The M. Night Shyamalan movie looks kind of interesting, but I just don't know if it's one of those things where I have to pay $20 fucking to fucking rent it. I might think about it again.
Yeah, but what was the other thing? The halftime show sucked.
Oh, that was fucking terrible.
It was bad.
And somebody was giving me shit on Facebook about it because I commented on one of the things that the NFL put up, and I put boo earns. Like last year's was so like I don't like Shakira and J-Lo, but it was fire. Like it was entertaining. Yeah. It was upbeat.
And he purposely wanted no one else in his show.
He was just so full of himself.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I personally, I just heard stories that the guy is really conceited and that he thinks it's all about him and all this shit. I don't know that for a fact. That's just stuff I've heard. So those aren't the words come out of my mouth. But I mean, my thing is, yeah, I've heard a couple of his songs, but I'm like, who is this guy to get a whole halftime show? It's not like every single one of his hits is super fucking fire. Like, I mean,
I can't feel my face when I'm with you.
And that's not, I like that song. I'm not gonna lie. There's that other one. That other one that is going around on TikTok right now. That
which the
Oh No or Or was that the one?
I don't know what the fuck.
Anyways, the other one too is like I can't even tell you. But I mean, like, I'm sorry, I don't feel like that guy has been around long enough. And I'm not saying he can't get there, but I don't feel like he's been around long enough to have a halftime show at the Super Bowl. Let's have a band that's been around for a while. And you know me, I'd rather have a rock show. I love hip hop, I love rap, and all that shit. I like some good old classic rock halftime shows and stuff like that, but it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be
like,
just rock or whatever it is. Like,
they should have had New Kids on the Block.
You could have had anybody that just had some bounce to their step, because already the game was fucking boring as it was for most of the game, and then all of a sudden you get into this, and I think that's what also kind of affected too, is that the performance was this like almost avant-garde. Did it look nice? Yeah, I liked seeing the cathedral of people back there all doing their like dancing or whatever the fuck. They look like fucking Terminators, and I think put it out there, watch out the weekend, the Terminators are behind you, you know. And then the whole thing with the field was really cool, with all the dancers on the field. It looked cool, but it was boring at the same time. It just wasn't, nothing to grab you. There wasn't,
I think Woody or Menace said it best from the Woody Show, when he's like, yeah, he has good songs, but none of those songs are really like,
they're not bangers.
Yeah,
like bangers as an energetic.
Yeah.
Right? You could get, that's why I compared it to J-Lo and whatever and Shakira from last year. I'm like, there are some songs that maybe don't quite work, or you may not like so much, but you know what?
There's so much going on with the show, yeah.
With it. Even the song, the way the song flows, and if you're not totally into it, yeah, and maybe it had a big sexual awakening for a lot of young boys and girls that were watching that performance, but who cares? Like, that's a halftime show. And there have been other boring ones, too.
Oh, yeah.
The Black Eyed Peas, I think that was one of the most boring ones that I've seen in a long time. You know, even, like, as much as people liked Lady Gaga's one, I thought that one was pretty boring, except for her coming down the thing. But even then, she mixed in some of those dancey-type songs that can get you going.
But also, like I said, she's such a huge artist at that point.
Right.
You know, a lot of people were like, who the fuck's The Weeknd?
Yeah.
Like, I know who he is, but, like, a lot of people were like, who's The Weeknd? Like, they didn't even not know who he was. But with Lady Gaga, they were like, oh, I've heard of Lady Gaga.
Yeah, the older generation doesn't know who The Weeknd... Maybe my dad, he asked me, he's like, who is that guy at the halftime? I'm like, that's The Weeknd. He's like, who the hell's The Weeknd? I'm like, don't even worry about it. But when Lady Gaga, Lady Gaga's out there. Like, he knows who she is.
Exactly.
You know, and he's heard... Because she's so in the pop vernacular that you know who that person is.
Well, that's my point, yeah. And I thought some of those memes, once again, cracked me up. Like, the first time I was so happy the weekend was over.
Though I do like that one where it's like, there's the one where it's the shot of him with the microwave, or the food in the microwave looks at when they're cooking. And then the other one when trying to find the point of the Weeknd's performance and him running around inside that maze inside there.
I saw TikTok where it was like, I know I've seen this before, and it showed him when he was going around the camera, like and it was Jim Carrey as the Grinch going, like all back and forth and shit. I just realized we got to describe that for the podcast.
For the podcast people, because the people that are watching us know exactly what we're doing.
But at the end of the day, ate some good food, had a good time. I went to my parents.
Ate too much chicken. I made too much dip.
Whatever. Football's over.
Football's done for a year.
Soon it'll be time for A's News.
Yeah, it'll be up at some point. But you see that J.J. Watt, he's been released from the Texans.
Was he?
Yeah, yesterday.
I remember seeing a picture, and they were talking about something about his brothers trying to get him in Pittsburgh.
He requested to be let go, and they did it.
But I didn't realize that he had been let go. I thought maybe he was just a free agent. But
nope.
But see, here's the thing. J.J. Watt is a great player. The problem is he walks out on the field and hits a blade of grass that's too tall, and he's out for 3 weeks with a shoulder injury or something. Yep. The guy's a good player, but he's too accident prone. He's always getting hurt.
One of my favorite little memes I've seen was from the 49ers subreddit, because John Lynch and them have a habit of going after injury-prone players for cheap. And it's like finding out that J.J. Watt has been released from the Texans, and then it was Vince McMahon with his like walking out, like all excited walk. I'm like, okay, I see what we're gonna do.
March.
Yeah,
or walk, I should say. No chance.
But there's there, and then there's Russell Wilson talking shit on the Pat McAfee show where he was talking about how he's like, I like being in Seattle, I like playing, but they don't have anybody that can protect me. He's like, my career is going to be over, before it can have the longevity because I'm running for my life out there and I've got no protection.
Well, see, that's the thing. And me and my dad talk about this all the time, probably because we were linemen. My dad was a lineman coach. Hell, I was a freshman lineman coach for a while. No one gives enough credit to the offensive line.
Nope.
Point blank, period. What a great play by the quarterback. Look at he threw the ball. He was just standing there. Well, why? Because he had fucking offensive line blocking for him. No one gives the offensive line any fucking credit. Perfect example. Where he was running his ass off. I still give him credit, though. I don't give a shit if he's a Chief or not. He made some of those amazing throws, and his fucking receivers were like,
He hit two people in the place where they can't catch it, which was their hands.
Yeah.
On that crazy one where he's falling, and he sidearmed that shit, and it went right through Tyreek Hill's hands,
hit him in
the fucking face. It's like, you are in the Super Bowl, you catch that shit.
Yeah. That was ridiculous.
Thing is
but
he ran almost 500 yards just in scrambles.
Yep. And why? Because he had 3 offensive linemen out, starting offensive linemen.
One was injured. 2 got put out because of COVID.
Yeah.
Because they slipped that piece of paper right to the barber right before. They already worked on 2 people. They were probably, let's see how long we can wait. Brady said to wait for Mahomes. But we can get at least 2 offensive linemen right now.
But at the end of the day, it just proves it don't matter how great of a quarterback you are. If you don't have an offensive line, it doesn't fucking matter. And I understand what Russell Wilson's saying. Look at fucking RG3.
Oh, yeah. He got fucked.
Yeah, he got fucked in Washington. Shanahan, not your Shanahan, his dad.
No, his dad.
Kept him in there when they shouldn't have. And then when he was hurt, but why was he hurt? He also, because he didn't have a line to fucking protect him.
Right.
He fucked his career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He completely fucked it. And the thing is that he put him back out there when he was still injured.
Yeah.
And that was further fucking his career. Yeah.
I understand there's a lot of players that'll play hurt. But, there's certain things, maybe we shouldn't play, especially it's a franchise guy. That's what I was saying about Mahomes. I go, if this guy had a fucking concussion and you put him out there, they said he cleared and he didn't have a concussion.
But he played on turf toe.
But I mean, you can, I think concussion and turf toe are two,
Well, yeah, but it's
especially for the Super Bowl, you play with turf toe.
Oh, yeah.
I would. But, I mean, you just.
I can't feel my feet when I'm in the turf. Because I got turf toe. Yeah, I got turf toe.
Something like that is different. You don't fuck up your franchise guy. Yeah, you have a chance for a Super Bowl, but you know what? I'd rather have the guy for 10, 12 years than, he was here. This is his 3rd year, and, we put him out there with a concussion, and now he's throwing the ball behind him.
Well, I think that it's going to be a wild off season when it comes to, the trades.
Look at Deshaun Watson.
They're holding on to him for some reason. They're trying, but he has a no trade clause, so he would have to say where he wants to go. And he's like, "You got no trade clause? Then we're just not going to trade you, and you're going to have to play. And if you choose not to play or whatever, I hope that he doesn't pull some bullshit thing of being like, well, I'm just going to sit out the year then." And then, other teams are going to see what the hell is up. But somebody, the way that the NFL works, you can do this type of bullshit, and then some team will pick you up. Antonio Brown is the fucking example.
But you know what, though? If Antonio Brown's just a prick. A guy like Deshaun Watson who's tired of...
Oh, he's tired of them not listening to him.
Look at I'll give you one of the best examples. I'm going to go blank on his name. Carson Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
For years, we have Terrell Owens and Ocho Cinco, Batman and Robin. He's like, look, this is what we need to make this team successful. I need this. They didn't want to do it to him. Give it to him. Fuck it, I'm going to retire then. I'm out. I'm tired of this shit. Then here comes, I'm going to go blank on his name, redhead, Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton. Yeah.
And they do what Palmer wanted, he asked for. they bring that system in. You know what I mean? They get rid of the dumbasses who want to act like... I mean, I'm not going to say that they're not great receivers, but they're dumbasses. They acted like it. They've even admitted it. But you know what I mean? Like,
more like Beavis and Butthead of the NFL.
And, they bring in what he wanted afterwards. And, but we all see how Dalton is. He couldn't handle shit.
The red tomato.
But you know what I mean? Like he's. I think Deshaun Watson is just tired of like his best fucking receiver.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna get rid of my best fucking receiver for a guy who hasn't. If he was still hot-handed,
they gave him away for like a Diet Coke and a bag of chips.
Basically, like when David Johnson was playing great, then that's one thing. But he hasn't played like that in like 3 years, and all of a sudden you're gonna trade. It's basically saying here is this gourmet meal from Gordon Ramsay. I'm going to trade this for your Arby's crappy sandwich.
No, you mean Burger King. Dry ass fucking burger.
Okay.
Arby's is fucking delicious.
It's not, but
yes, it is.
Either way,
fucking delicious.
It's not an even trade.
No, it's not. They got shit back for it.
And he's just like, you're going to... He's in the same situation. He doesn't want to have to be running for his life and all the other shit.
No, he doesn't. And he played a phenomenal year with having to run for his life. And he has nothing. No receivers, no running back, no line. And he's like, I want you guys to try to go after this offensive coordinator because the top quarterbacks in the NFL, they basically say, hey, this is what I want. And they normally get it. I'm a top quarterback. Why don't you try to go after this guy? Because I think this guy will actually help our team. They're like, nope, we're going to go get somebody that, nobody really knows. And he's like, okay, well, you don't want to listen to me anymore? Then let's go.
Yeah, fuck it.
And that's the same thing with J.J. Watt. He said the same thing. The reason that he wanted to be let go because he's like, I love the city of Houston, even though you booed me when I was selected during the draft. He's like, but he's like, the people here, they just don't They don't fit what I want, and I don't believe that they believe in building a good team that Houston deserves. So
if he wasn't so accident prone, I'd tell the Raiders to go pick him up.
Yeah, he'll end up somewhere. Maybe he'll end up in Pittsburgh, go with his brother, or maybe he'll end up, with the Rams. We'll see. But so that's enough Super Bowl talk for this thing, or football talk just in general.
Yeah, all right. Let's do your top list because it's not going to take me very long to go through this. Since A, I forgot, and two,
real
there really
fast,
wasn't nothing this way.
Real fast, let's talk about Willy's Wonderland real quick, and just maybe spend like 10 minutes on that. And then we get to the picks.
Next.
I liked it.
Thank you.
But I liked it. Well, it was interesting. I don't want to give anything away, but basically, if you know the whole story of Five Nights at Freddy's, it's basically the same thing.
In a sense, the same thing.
It was supposed to be the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, but they never really agreed on it. I think that, like, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I mean, it was okay.
I liked it.
I think everything with Nicolas Cage was cool.
Yeah.
I think his character was interesting.
One thing I wish I would have explained a little bit more was the energy drinks.
Oh, his I kept trying to read the goddamn side of it too, because it's like it's something like something to the fist to the face. It's like a caffeine boost, fist to the face or something, or a caffeine fist to the face. I was trying to read it and I couldn't quite. I know the last part what of it was. I thought that the practical effects when they did the practical effects, I like the costumes for all the Willy's Wonderland creatures. Yeah. The only one I didn't quite like was when the fairy changed her face. Like, I was cool with her just being the fairy, but then when she did the thing with the face...
I almost felt like Disney might sue someone.
Well, maybe because it looked almost exactly like Tinkerbell.
No, I didn't think it looked like Tinkerbell. It looked like from...
Elsa?
No. Shit. The one where they're in her head.
Oh, it looked like Inside Out?
Inside Out. The main girl. Blue hair.
A little bit, but she was white hair.
Green dress. I think she had blue.
I think it was green. Or it was not green, it was white. But nonetheless, I really thought that she was more like Tinkerbell is what they were going for with the whole fairy thing. I just, it was okay. I think that, I'll probably do some type of video thing on it later. Put it up. She's blue. I was talking about the person in Willy's Wonderland.
So she had blue hair too.
I thought she was white hair. whatever something Sarah Silly Fairy or something.
I'm pulling it up.
But I mean, I could always switch over and we could show people what we were looking at. But
fuck those guys.
Fuck those guys. Good. Now we're gonna say fuck those guys. But but yeah, I think that if you're gonna watch a movie where one there really isn't any horror, but you just kind of want to see what a Five Nights at Freddy's movie is gonna be, this is not a bad viewing. Or if you just kind of like looked at it and you want to see Ridiculous Cage, it's pretty ridiculous. I think that you could get, it's one of his better movies. Though I still kind of want to see Jiu-Jitsu. I guess it was blue. Maybe I just kind of always saw that it was kind of like whitish blue.
If that makes sense.
It's not dark blue.
Yeah.
Like I felt like the other girls.
What I saw was I thought similarity in that. But yeah.
But yeah, it like I think that there's the kid element or the teenager element in it.
They definitely could have got some better actors.
Yeah. I think that for it supposedly being rated R, that they could have at least showed us that girl's boobs.
Yeah.
And she was terrible at sex.
That's not how I'm at all, ladies. Just saying.
I'm just saying. No, me sex do good.
me sex good. I come every
Jar
time.
Jar Binks of sex is that? Me's a good sex.
Me's a give a good sexer. Ah! Think about that.
Yeah, and especially for the ones watching on camera over there.
I was talking to a friend, and she was like, "Oh no, guys always expect girls to go down on them, but they never want to go down." And I'm like, "Well, you're fucking with the wrong guys, because I clean my plate."
And then there's some of us that actually prefer to do that rather than the other thing. So.
Oh shit!
Oh,
what,
man.
eat ass? Oh wait. Anyways.
Yes, eat ass. I'm gonna eat the whole thing.
I think they spent all their money on.
I think they spent
all their money on Nick Cage and Freebird and eating ass.
No, I think they spent it all on the costumes because the costumes look pretty good. To be honest, in general, they all looked really good. But they definitely spent it on Freebird. They spent it on that car, even though it was a Chrysler, and Nicolas Cage's car or Chevy. Isn't that a Chrysler?
You even said that's what he gets for driving a Chevy.
That's right. But I think aren't they the same company? But nonetheless, it was a Chevy because I know Chevy owns Jeep.
GM.
Jeep is owned by Chrysler. Oh, it's Chrysler GM. You're right.
No, Chevy and GM.
Chevy and GM.
Yeah, Chrysler's Plymouth.
Okay, whichever it is, it's a Chevy.
Chrysler,
so they spent the money on
Dodge.
the Chevy. They spent the money on the Chevy. They spent the money on Nick Cage, and yes, they spent the money trying to emulate fucking Rob Zombie using Freebird at the end of the movie. Like 3 from Hell.
No. So I don't know. I say check it out. Granted, though, like you were saying, if I'm going to compare this one and the Banana Splits, yes, was better.
Banana Splits wins hands down. That movie, even though it's bad, but that was so bad it's good to where I so enjoyed it because it was funny. It was really gory for what it was, and they really flipped like the Banana Splits thing on its head.
Yeah.
Right here, it's just like they wanted to do the gore, but they weren't quite doing the gore. Like they only had like maybe 3 scenes that were really gory out of the movie. That was about it.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't want to talk.
I don't want to talk about it either because that's going to be saved for other things. But yeah, so what would you have given it if you're going to give it a score?
Like out of 5?
Yeah, like out of 5.
I give it I'll give it. I'm trying to think of something good here, as you always do it. Say it. 3 really pissy toilets out of
3
5.
pissy toilets out of 5.
Those toilets were nasty.
I'd probably give it like a 2.5 pinball machines out of 5. You know, or 2 out of 5 fists to the face. But yeah,
I got it. 3. Sorry, motherfucker, you're in the friend zone out of 5. But I mean, like the one kid I recognized right away, Christian. I forget his last name, but I was like, I recognize him.
Ronaldo?
I realized,
no,
the
Vine stars.
He was in Vine, and yeah. So that's where I recognize him. That was good for him to getting some acting jobs.
Yeah,
actually, he wasn't that bad. I didn't find his acting that bad. It was the one blonde chick.
Oh, she was
the main girl who I saw.
The main girl was terrible.
She's been in a couple things. She was in the Maya MC Mayans. I saw.
That's where she's from.
Yeah,
like I
didn't. Yeah, her acting was bad.
Pointless. Like I felt like all those characters are kind of pointless, and they could have weaved them into the Nicolas Cage thing more.
Sharks just started.
But that's just the way that it is. And I didn't like the sheriff. I thought the two guys.
But she's been in something else too.
The Tex, that guy Tex, and the owner of the tow truck.
Yeah,
I thought those two were pretty
yeah, I
good.
like the tow truck guy.
I wish I could have seen a little more of them. And the thing is like I liked everything with the animatronics. I thought all that stuff was pretty good. I wish they had used the turtle guy a little more because that was the one that was hilarious. And
no más, ay.
Mi huevos.
Mi huevos.
No, mi huevos, no. But yeah, I think a good 2.5 is about right.
Like I said, I give it a
3. Yeah, that's about fine.
Because I think
on
anything
average,
under a
between
3,
the two of us, a 2.5.
Anything under a 3, I don't know if I really would want to watch it again. But like, if it was on, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, for me, that's why I'm saying like 2.5. Because there's enough in it where I could be like, if somebody was like, hey, I haven't watched this, you want to watch it with me? I'd be like, all right. I know there are things I'll enjoy, but, hey, and you didn't, notice the entire time. I didn't whip about my phone or anything. I was just trying to live in the moment of the movie.
I had to tell Mary to keep it down a couple times.
Well,
she's like, well, you're talking. It's like, yeah, but we say something real quick and it's over. You want to do a whole long conversation, sentences, paragraphs.
I need to get on my phone for this part. All right, so let's talk about the top of 2020, what we watched, of whatever else going on.
I can tell you the first thing we saw in 2020.
What was that?
The Grudge.
Yeah, well, that's part of the worst 2020. I think we're just going to kind of go
this list. This is why I should have took more time to really look, and I admit it, I fucked up. And we even talked about it last night, and I was going to do it, and I didn't. But like, it's hard to come up with a list this year because
it's weird.
Everything was canceled basically. So
yeah, a lot of the big movies didn't really make it, but I think there's a lot of stuff that we kind of like. I didn't realize how much stuff from 2020 I actually saw, how many games I really played, and stuff like that. So. Some of the things that I really enjoyed in 2020, these movies that came out was like Host on Shudder, which was the movie that was all on Zoom. It was our friend Neil made an awesome poster for it, which got turned into a T-shirt and a hoodie, which is really excellent because that's where he wants to go. He wants to do graphic design like that, and he's a cool dude. Yeah. So The Witches I really liked.
I never saw it. I was supposed to watch it with the wife, and she would watch it with someone else, so now watch it.
Soul, I really, really enjoyed.
I still need to see Soul.
That's a great little Pixar movie. Another Pixar movie, Onward.
Wait, did Soul come out in 2020?
Yeah, it came out Christmas Day.
Same that's right.
Same as Wonder Woman 84, which is not on the good list. It's somewhere else. So Onward came out in the first part of 2020. And then went straight to video. It came out in like March, right when everything was shutting down, and then went right to Disney Plus. And it's a really good movie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Underwater was one of the movie I saw in Vegas for CES last year. Like the last day I was in CES, I was like, I can either go to a bar and drink by myself, or I can go see a movie. Let's go see a movie, and then let's go drink at a bar by myself for a little bit. Because I'm in Vegas, and I might as well have a drink before
Underwater
I leave.
Was the one with...
That's the one with Kristen... whatever
Stewart?
Kristen Stewart, and what the fuck is his name?
The comedian?
Comedian from he was in the Emoji Movie. T.J. Miller.
T.J. Miller, yeah.
Which I really liked Underwater. It has a really interesting ending.
I didn't see it, so I can't judge it. I'm just going off of the
It's hard because the commercial
trailer
doesn't
for it.
The trailer doesn't do justice.
No, I would probably check it out. We probably would have went to the theater.
We probably
to see
would have went. Yeah, and the only reason I went was because I had nothing to do. Was by myself in Vegas, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go see a movie.
My biggest thing about that was they're in the water. They're trying to walk across the water. This was in the trailer. Mm-hmm. They have their lights on. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's something out there. Turn your lights off. Bitch, you're at the bottom of the fucking ocean. They're not used to light. Why would you turn the light off so now they can see better, you fucking dumbass? And once again, I'm pretty sure some people died from that scene. I don't know. You do. But all because of a woman. Just saying. Then I was called sexist the other day, by the way.
Again?
No.
This is like the third time in like the last 3 weeks.
I'm not sexist. I just pointed out the truth. She said turn off the lights. I would have been like, no. You're supposed to be a marine biologist or something, and you don't know that these things can't see in the day?
It's explained in the movie. But it's still, even though there's dumb shit that happens in that movie, I'm going to agree with that. The movie is still really entertaining, and I really like the ending of the movie. Like, it's really cool.
Like I said, I'm willing to check it out. I have my reserves about it, but I knew we probably would have went and saw it.
Yeah, we probably would. I would have saw it again. That's how much I liked it. So, and getting it released in January, I think was the wrong, especially after it had like 2 years in production, where it should have been released, I think, in 2018, and they held it until 2020. So, like, it's rough. Then there was the other kind of horror-ish movie I liked was The Color Out of Space. That's the other one I told you to watch with Nick Cage, where it's based on an H.P. Lovecraft story. It's on Shudder. So both that and Mandy, if you haven't seen Mandy, but Mandy's from last year.
Yeah. I gotta see Mandy.
Have you seen Palm Springs?
No.
With Andy Samberg? Fucking great, like Groundhog Day type movie, where he's stuck in Palm Springs in a time loop. He keeps reliving the same day over and over again. It's kind of touching. It's a little more of a romantic comedy, but it's funny as hell. It's got what's his name? Who played J. Jonah Jameson?
The State Farm's guy.
The State Farm guy. J.K. Simmons. J.K.
Simmons. Yeah, I know him from a bunch of stuff.
You know him from a ton of shit, but he plays another guy stuck in the time loop, and he constantly tries to kill Andy Samberg. It's really fucking hilarious. But there's a reason behind it, and you don't know until you watch the movie. So watch the movie. If you're interested in watch the movie. Even though the ending's a little kind of like...
I still need to see Happy Death Day 2.
So, wait. Oh, you haven't seen Happy Death Day to You?
No.
That's a good one. I was very surprised with that one. And then the last one that I really liked, and I didn't think I was going to... I thought it was interesting, but I didn't think I was going to like it as much, and you recently saw it, is that Guns Akimbo. I really like that movie with Daniel Radcliffe and what's her name? The girl from Ready or Not, and she's the niece of the guy who played Red Skull and was Agent Smith in the Matrix movies. Why can't I remember his name?
I know who you're talking about, and I don't remember names. He was also in Lord of the Rings.
He was also in Lord of the Rings as well. Yep, I gotta watch those movies again.
I've been telling my boy Josh I'd watch them again to give it another try. I don't even remember The Return of the King. According to Crystal, I seen it with her. I don't remember it.
Honestly, out of all three of them, The Return of the King was kind of like, I feel as like it won the Academy Award, but I don't think it's as good as The Two Towers. I think The Two Towers is the best of all three. I want to watch them again. I really enjoyed those movies.
I want to watch them again to give another shot. But for the most part, to me, it was all forgettable. In my head, I can remember certain scenes. And you know how I am. When I see a movie, I usually remember.
Yeah, if you really like it, you really remember it.
I don't like Iron Man 3, but I know that one.
Well, that's because I think you're on the outsides of if you really like it or you really hate it, you remember so much about it. But if you're just kind of indifferent to it, you forget.
I don't know. I'll have to watch them again.
Well, worst movies of 2020 that I saw.
The Grudge.
It's 4 of them. The Grudge is the top of them. That movie was terrible. And I think we even called it during that video that we did. And I said that it was going to be the worst movie of 2020. It was the first one that we saw. Well, Wonder Woman 84 would be my number 2. That movie is terrible.
I think I'd put that one above The Grudge.
Like so much hype. It has Pedro Pascal's performance in it, which I give that gives it a little bit of an edge over The Grudge, where The Grudge I just didn't find anything redeeming of. Pedro Pascal.
Who's that? I only don't know people.
He plays the Mandalorian, and he was the bad guy of Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah.
Like, his performance was good. I thought that was really good.
I'm sorry. I have a problem with it because, one, just the story of it. You know, I don't want to say it because I'll be called sexist. But
you are.
I'm not sexist. She wrote a love story. She didn't write a...
No, she didn't write a Wonder Woman.
And I'm sorry. She didn't write the first one. She just directed it.
Right. So I'm not saying she's a bad director. She's a bad writer.
Exactly. She's a great director because Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman was awesome.
That's what when somebody else that I like watching his reviews of stuff that he did, he said he loves the first Wonder Woman too. He's like, it's great because he thought Patty Jenkins understood Wonder Woman until she tried to write her. And then when she wrote her, he's like, you don't understand Wonder Woman at all.
Yeah. The thing is, the only thing she didn't understand about Wonder Woman is that we wanted to see Linda Carter in the first one.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden we're going to bring it back just for the second one.
But my thing is, like I said, the story. The whole thing of all of a sudden she can fly, and we have a 20-minute scene of and then you get to a fight scene and she doesn't fly. She's using her web slinging ability. The whole thing, we already did spoilers, didn't we?
We did a whole movie review on it.
Look. Okay, I won't do it. But the whole, and whether you like the president or not, the whole narrative towards that, you know what I mean? Anti-shit. It's just stupid. Like, I want to watch a superhero movie. I don't need your political bullshit.
Well, also, the other one on the list was Fantasy Island. I had high hopes for that movie.
Oh, I forgot that came out.
It just wasn't very good.
I liked it. I'm not like I gave it a 3. Like that one where like if it was on, I'd probably watch it. But
I finally figured out who that guy is too.
Michael Rourke?
No, Jimmy, whatever his name, Jimmy O or whatever. The guy that was going to become Tattoo towards the end of it. Like he's a comedian that I didn't realize that he was becoming popular, and he was just in that movie about stand up that what's his name made, Steve Byrne or whatever his name is. That one that Woody was talking all about that I really want to see, where it's like about being a road comic. That's what the movie's about. Yeah, and he's the main star of that movie.
Like I said, I think it's watchable. I didn't think this will be a top. Like, even with this short amount of movies, I don't know if I put it on my top 5, but it would be like hey, I'd watch that.
Then the other one was, you mentioned it earlier, was The Turning. That was the one with the kids. Mm-hmm. In the house. I just felt like it was just boring. Like, it wasn't really that great. And there's the other one that we saw too, and I need to go look it up. The one with Kevin Bacon. But I wouldn't put it on the worst list. I'd put it kind of like in the middle. But it deserves an honorable mention because it was just boring. It was like, you should have stayed here or something like that.
You should have left.
You should have left. I'm trying to find it in the list of everything that we
I was looking movies up and I didn't even see that.
Oh, you should have left.
I said, see?
That's you're right. You should have left. So, it looked interesting because it was like Kevin Bacon and kind of like a psychological horror movie about, being in a place of heaven or hell type thing or whatever is going on. And then it was just kind of like, didn't really go anywhere. Didn't really have any suspense. It was just kind of a boring movie. That was my only thing about it. Good performances, not a great movie.
I liked it. Out of everything, I'd put it on the top better list. Like, for me, I guess I could throw that on there. Guns
Akimbo.
Thank you. And I'm also going to throw in there Spider-Man. Scorpion.
Yeah, see, I didn't see that one.
The animated one that came out, and then the other one I would say is the Justice League Apocalypse War. And they started with the Flashpoint movie, and every movie after that, these are all pretty much been connected. But it was dark, it was bloody, it was gory, it was what everybody wishes the DC movies would be, which I understand you're trying to draw little kids into, but it's what DC represents with the darkness and the whole thing is they're trying to do an invasion onto Apocalypse to stop Darkseid, and Darkseid knows about it, and it was a massacre. All your favorite heroes are being torn apart, and the ones that weren't had almost worse fates.
It sounds like what Zack Snyder wanted to kind of leave the Justice League into right? And that's why the Justice League movie, the Zack Snyder cut, is being rated R because supposedly it's violent, it's a lot more mature, and it's what he wanted to do, and then he got kicked off of it, or he left, and
Wasn't
then
he
Josh
had a
Whedon,
family thing?
yeah, his daughter, I think, died in a car accident or something like that.
I thought someone got sick, but
and then Josh Whedon came in and then tried to turn it into the Avengers, and you saw what happened there with everything that's been going on with that, and Josh Whedon not being liked on the set and everything like that, all that crap going down. But it is what it is. We're going to get that in the next couple months, and that's like a 4-hour fucking thing.
It comes out in March.
Is it March? Oh, damn. Didn't realize that.
But
so we got that and Godzilla next month.
But I think they did it in episodes.
Yeah, it's 4 different episodes that you can watch. But he's also going to release it. Well, he said he's also going to release it as a 4-hour movie.
Yeah.
So you could watch it as it's meant to be. But personally, I probably would be like, I'm going to watch this in 4-hour increments. Maybe watch the last 2 together. Does it need to be 4 hours? Who knows? But if it turns out that it's really good, then I'm going to be like, oh, well, props to you, Zach. So
I'll probably watch it as the 4-hour movie.
He's got a new zombie movie that's coming out with Dave Bautista and a couple other people, I think, on Netflix in the next couple months.
Yeah.
That looks pretty good.
Real quick, interrupt this. I know, just breaking news here.
Is it A's news?
No, it's the Senate has acquitted Trump in his second impeachment trial.
Yeah, well, everybody knows
that's kind of big news, so I throw that out there. But anyways.
It's what it's going to be because there's not going to be enough votes to go either way.
Yeah, well, it was... well, we don't need to get into it.
We don't need to go into politics.
But, yeah, so I would definitely check that out. Plus, there's a lot with Constantine, and I really love that character of Constantine.
Doesn't the guy that did the TV series for Constantine, doesn't he voice him in the movies?
I believe he does. Now, okay, look. Keanu Reeves, love him. The Constantine movie, really liked it. Mm-hmm. He wants to do another one. I wish they would do it with this guy that does on the CW and all this. Because I feel like he plays Constantine more truer to what Constantine is.
Well, I think he's better written than the movie version of him was written.
Which I agree. Like I said, it's a good movie. I'm not dogging it, but I like this Constantine.
Wouldn't you want to have a guy that actually has a British accent play a British character?
But the thing is if I say that, then it's going to be bad because I love Sean Connery as James Bond, and he's Scottish, not English. But my point
Sean's also dead, so...
Well, not because
he's not going to play James Bond anymore.
We haven't played James Bond since fucking the 70s. That's not the point I'm making. I'm saying... That'd be like make me a hypocrite to say, yeah, you're right. He should be British with a British accent and not him. And then turn around and say I love Sean Connery as James Bond would be kind of hypocritical, wouldn't it?
What about having Sean Connery as an Irish
I think when you break down shit that I'm saying and you know what I'm saying and you have to piss me off.
I'm not trying to piss you off.
Yeah, you are, because that doesn't make it... Oh, well, he's dead. Not like he's going to play him anymore. You know what I'm trying to say.
I was just making a joke.
That was a bad joke.
Not trying to piss you off.
I love Sean Connery, and you hurt my feelings. But anyways.
I also made a Darby O'Gill joke, and you didn't get pissed off about that.
I don't even know who the hell that is.
You've never seen Darby O'Gill and the Little People?
No.
Where Sean Connery plays an Irish guy?
Oh. I thought you were talking about an actor.
No, I'm talking about Sean Connery, too.
Yeah, I saw that a long time ago.
It's on Disney+.
Well, okay.
So you should also watch that and bed off some broomsticks.
Bed off some broomsticks.
Fucking Angela Lansbury, man.
Yeah, she's not a real teapot. She shouldn't be a teapot in Beauty and the Beast.
Well, maybe. How many animated teapots do you know?
Have you seen the thing going around?
Doris.
Have you seen the thing? Doris? Have you seen the thing going around saying that Slender Man's been in Disney movies and shit?
What, is this another, like, hey, I found a penis inside of this frame?
So, I saw this one that someone sent me, and, like, it's the ballroom scene, right? And it comes down in the corner, you're supposed to be Slender Man walking. And I go, so I go to Disney Plus, right? Like, let's play along with this, right? Nothing there. And I go, I just looked it up. She goes, no, they said it's on the DVD and on the
Oh, because they douched it out, right? All of a sudden, this is coming around, and now they're going to douche these things out. It's not that somebody that you see it's on a video thing here, and they animated it on top of it, or they made it pop in there to prove their point.
So let's see. Actually, you know what? I think I'll find it real quick. I'll just show you real quick.
Do we need to show people that what it is?
I don't care. Stupid ass fucking ads. Anyways, hold on. Hold on. Let's see. So, because my friend just sent it to you.
Was that an Ed Sheeran ad?
Okay, here's one. This was the
like
Beauty and the Beast one.
Though it was only in Disney films. That's not Beauty and the Beast, is it?
I know. This is a different one I said.
Oh, this is from, what is it? The Dragon one? How to Train Your Dragon?
Let's see. Yeah, How to Train Your Dragon.
I think you moved it right when it was about to pop up. Let's see. He's watching. He's like, no. Then he goes off into the corner, and out in the distance. Okay.
So
that easily could have been added into the video, but.
Oh, and here's the Beauty and the Beast one.
Oh, now we're doing the Beauty and the Beast.
Magically just walking in the background.
It's the same guy on both of those fucking things.
I know. Oh, what do you think? My friend's like, guy, what do you think of this? I'm like, I think it's probably bullshit.
If it was a different guy for the things, like, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to break out my DVDs, and I'm going to stitch with you as I'm watching the DVD. I'm going to watch the scene. Yeah. Oh, hey, look, there's nothing there.
Well, I'm like, I have the Blu-ray and the DVD and the tape somewhere. I'll look it up. But I'm gonna probably say it.
No, I've never even heard of that.
Fucking
before.
Slender Man. Never heard of Slender Man until what 2005. Now all of a sudden he's in Disney movies.
Yeah, I know.
And How to Train Your Dragon.
And even then with Slender Man, he's a internet created creepypasta thing. Yeah. He did not exist until the creepypasta stuff about him came out. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden Slender Man became a thing, but he's never existed prior to the 2000s.
Yep.
So Disney's like, oh, we're going to make this a thing back here. I can get with, I remember the things with like the animated pieces, like Little Mermaid, when you look at the guy, it says, oh, he's got a boner, but it's more like the cloth is kind of like animated, funky in the scene, or there's a boner in again, something like a penis in the Little Mermaid cover, or whatever it is.
That one was
I think that one might be true.
Because the artist had gotten fired, so he went back in there while he was supposed to clear shut up, and he changed it.
But there's a bunch of other things that are like that are just like, okay,
Yeah, I don't know. But it just cracks me up because my one friend was like, oh, what do you think of this? I'm like, computer animated?
It's probably fake.
Fake news.u?
Like that. For it to look CG, too. It doesn't look animated.
Yeah.
Back that ballroom scene, everything that's in there that's moving is 2D animated, is hand animated. The ballroom sweep, that is the only thing that is CG.
Yeah.
He is CG. In the How to Train Your Dragon, I can be like, okay, you know what? Easter egg, something they put in there. How to Train Your Dragon way past Slender Man. Or around the same time. Somebody did it. Perfectly fine. I'll give you that one. But the same looking type of Slender Man in Beauty and the Beast, in something that has 2D animated characters all dancing to the left, and here's a 3D guy that looks grainy as fuck
walking
along. Oh, fuck that. Fuck you. Trying to scare little kids and making them fucking believe things. Or gullible 40-year-olds.
I'm not 40.
No, I'm talking about people that are 40 that are really gullible. You're not 40. Are you gullible?
No.
Okay. And I was fucking talking about you.
Anyways.
This wasn't about you. So the last thing was just the games that we played last year. So the list that I have is the Final Fantasy VII Remake, Doom Eternal, Ghost of Tsushima, which I'm still playing. I took a break from it into 2020, and I'm playing it again now because I want to finish it. Trails of Cold Steel, which I just finished. That was really fun. Last of Us Part 2. I wouldn't put it as my top of the year, but I still really enjoyed the game.
Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, that came out last year. Didn't you finish Ellie's Adventure?
I'm sorry. Left 4 Dead. That's what I heard in my head. I heard Left 4 Dead 2 in my head.
Left 4 Dead 2's last DLC got released last year, so that's something. And then Spider-Man Miles Morales I really enjoyed, even though it was super fucking short. And Trials of Mana, which I really, really enjoyed. A remake of the third Secret of Mana game that never left Japan, and this is the first time it's fully translated English and totally redone at the same time.
So, I mean, don't have an order, but games I enjoyed were definitely Doom. I still got to finish the DLC.
I got to start that.
The Left 4 Us 2 was really good. I dove into that hardcore when that came out. And then Spider-Man, Miles Morales, definitely. The other one I'll give some love to is Call of Duty, even though I haven't really played the story, which is not like me. But I've been having a lot of fun, and I was like, I'm never gonna play another Call of Duty game after Ghost. I just like the same shit over and over, and I got tired of playing on multiplayer. It's like I spawn, I'm dead. I spawn, I'm dead.
It's like playing fucking Madden every year.
And I haven't played one in so long. My friends talked me into getting it. I'm like, if you guys are gonna play it, then okay. But if you know what I mean? Like, if you're not, then, like, no, we're going to be on it. So we got it. We've been on it, and I've been having a lot of fun playing with them. I've even played by myself a few times, so I have to give credit to that.
What about the other game that you've been playing on Saturday mornings?
Oh, yeah, Fall Guys came out last year, huh?
It did.
Fall Guys is fun. We're on Season 3. I already maxed it out. And, yeah. I really enjoy Fall Guys. It's just like a fun game to fuck around with. It's like, there's really, you want to get the crowns and everything, but at the end of the day, it's not like, it's basically the same thing over and over and over. The one I want to check out, and I'm not sure if it came out this year or last year, but the was it something Nightmares?
Something Nightmares?
Fuck.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think I sent you guys a video of that shit too.
Maybe. I know that there's been a lot of people playing last year. The one of the biggest booms in games was Among Us, which I never got a chance to really play, even in its heyday. But I do like still watching the videos of that. Rust all of a sudden came back in a weird way because a bunch of streamers started playing it on like a private streamer server. And then the other one was the one that Crystal plays a lot, which is Dead by Daylight. That one.
I started playing that last year too, but since it wasn't new,
Yeah, it's not. That's what I'm saying. That one's been around for a while. It's like
Little Nightmares.
I have not heard of that game before.
Like, look at this.
Oh, that's the one you sent me with the head that creepy, grows.
Yeah.
That neck.
That neck game. Yeah. But like, it just looks like something that would scare the shit out of me. Like, make you panic while you're trying to play it, and
it looks weird because it's all like weirdly, almost feels like it's claymation,
and it's
type
platform.
Of thing.
So I was talking to Josh. He said the first one is on Game Pass.
Oh, really?
So I'll probably download it after this.
Well, so that's the other thing. I was thinking what Angelo was saying about the whole Game Pass thing, and maybe getting the Game Pass that includes Windows. Maybe that might be a good way to go.
Oh yeah,
right? Because that includes games that you can download directly on Windows, as well as Xbox. So a game like that, if it's available on PC, even if I'm not using the Xbox, I don't end up getting a Series X, at least then I could download some of the stuff on the PC and still play it.
Yeah.
Because it seems like Microsoft's kind of going that way, where they're going with everything will be available on Series X, but it's also going to be PC compatible.
Yep. This fucking app better start working for me, by the way.
Which app?
Both the Xbox app and the games. Okay, now it's working. So what it would do is it's asking me for my password. Put my password in. Goes down, comes back up, asks me for my password.
Oh, that's not good.
Now, if I put the wrong password, it tells me that's the wrong password. So it wasn't letting me log in.
Microsoft's done that to me a couple times. Microsoft actually locked me out of my account for a while because it was like, you're putting in the wrong password. I'm like, I haven't changed my password in a long time, and it's not a simple password.
Yeah.
Because you guys suck in security. But yeah, I think that's about it for this episode, would you say?
Yes, sir.
It ended up being a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. But Patrick, where can they find the account on Twitter?
That'd be IBLT Podcast.
Email.
IBT. Jesus.
IBLT Podcast at
gmail.com. Fuck my life.
Instagram.
IBLT Podcast.
If you're watching this on YouTube, but if you're listening to it, you can find it on YouTube.
It be like that podcast.
I still need to do the stuff because I'm thinking
Twitch.
of actually moving us to Twitch. I know I've said it a couple times, but I think that might be a better platform just for us to, have it just go up there. It's easier for everything's constantly connected to Twitch, and then we can just record the video at the same time, and I can download everything.
Yeah.
Kind of like we're doing it over here. And then we'd be part of like the chat section over there. Maybe more people will find us. But if you do want to listen to us, if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to download the podcast, you can find us on things like Stitcher,
Apple Podcasts,
Apple Podcasts, Breaker,
Blueberry,
Facebook,
Google Play,
Deezer,
Spotify,
Castbox,
Amazon Prime,
Pandora,
that Indian one, JavaScript,
Java Savant or somewhere. And there's plenty of other things out there, Podbean and all the other places that you can find podcasts. Because we also end up getting into other like aggregate things that pick up the podcast.
Yeah.
There's the new one, which is like Verbal or something like that.
No, never heard of
that's
it.
brand new. But yeah, and don't forget to check out all the other podcasts on the Slightly Irregular Podcast Network. We had the one that I uploaded as a bonus episode this week. That was us talking about Godzilla versus Kong with everybody. And then they had a chat last night that you can find out there. That's going to be available on, I think the Dead Hen Radio Network or feed, as well as the Angry Dad feed and whoever else popped in there.
If we're planning on doing this more often, they probably should just start its own, so it could have its own.
Yeah, probably have its own feed and be the Slightly Regular Podcast feed, something along those lines. But yeah, make sure that you check out all those podcasts. Go to sipnet.us and you can find all the podcasts there. Patrick, you have a Twitter.
It's a Big Solo 64.
You have a YouTube channel.
Solo 64.
Anything new?
I actually have one on my phone I need to upload. I just haven't done it yet.
When do you plan to do the chicken one that we talked about?
We gotta set that up. Maybe, I don't know. We should probably do it soon. Next week or so. We got Sundays over open now. So
yeah, Sundays are really open now.
Except for if we're going to do a Chick-fil-A one, we guess we got to do it on Saturday.
We have to get on a Saturday. You have a blog?
Yeah, it's patricksthoughts64.blogspot.com.
And then you have 2 other podcasts right now and maybe a third that's maybe never coming back.
So, maybe KVGT Podcast, video game podcast, but you could also listen to the Paranormal Pativity Podcast, all paranormal, supernatural, aliens, all that stuff, which I haven't really dove into yet, but maybe soon. But if you have a story or an experience,
playing like X-Files music over that?
Yeah. If you have an experience that you want to talk about, you always reach out to me at paranormalpat64@gmail.com or on Instagram or Twitter at almost said Inspector Gadget. Why? I don't fucking know.
Paranormal Pat.
64. You can Instagram or Twitter at paranormalpat64. DM me. Slide into them ghostly DMs. I don't know where that came from, but
Patrick, go!
So
slide into those ghost DMs because they just disappear.
Now I'm gonna transform the car into the minivan and say check out the Chafing the Dream podcast at Chafing the Dream Pod on Twitter and Instagram. We're also on Facebook, and
I don't know what type of 80s cartoon I should be marking for that one.
Fat Albert.
Dun 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 dun, chafing the dream. Dun 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 dun, chafing the dream. Dun 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 dun, chafing the dream.
Trying to lose some lbs.
Fat power.
But but yeah, so it's a weight loss journey podcast between me and brother Kyle from Back in Time Podcast. So go check that out.
Good luck to him too, because he's having his surgery on Monday, right?
Yep.
So we wish him well. And then, yeah.
So I might have some other stuff in the works, but we'll leave it there for now. But Mr. Brian, you have a Twitter.
Yep. It's only toolbert still with O's.
Yeah.
Zeros,
Let's talk about that for a second. Fuck you, Twitter. don't cancel my shit. But fuck you, Twitter, for not getting back to this. I don't know, man. Like, that's what, like, that one I put out there, I just tagged hella different Twitter accounts that are verified for Twitter. Because I'm like, maybe one of them will say, what the fuck is this? And see what's going on. But and that's why I started the hashtag. Hashtag for terrible terror.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, justice
for terrible terror.
What did I say? Hashtag for...
Hashtag for terror. Hashtag for boobs.
So everybody out there, just say, hey, put at Twitter, what's going on with Terrible Terror Podcast, and put hashtag justice for terrible terror. Yeah, let's make this a thing. Let's get it going.
It's getting ridiculous, and I know they've said, well, we've got a lot of people, like, they haven't said it to me. Other people that have sent the same message, they haven't said anything to, and it's like, they won't even fucking talk to me. They won't answer the emails that I've sent. They won't answer any of the Twitter messages I've sent. And because they don't follow me, I can't DM them, right? So I'm going to try
the 2 to 3 fans that watch this and are still here, blow up Twitter with Justice for Terrible Terror and tag T_T_podcast. That's the podcast Twitter handle that got canceled for some reason or suspended for some reason.
Yeah.
But anyways.
I don't know. It still says it's suspended. I try to go on there at least once a day just to see maybe it somehow got unsuspended at this point. They just won't say.
It's been like, what, 3 weeks?
It's been since the 27th. That was when it got suspended. And the thing is that, as we talked about, like, I literally, the night before it got suspended, I was out trying to find a little small heater, and I was in Home Depot. And this was when Andrew from Dead Hen Radio was going out there, and he was basically trying to get everybody together to do the next Friday thing. Mm-hmm. So my phone was blowing up, and while I'm trying to find a goddamn heater inside of Home Depot, and I was just like, God damn, like, these guys are blowing me up. And then the next morning, I went to go check the messages, and the account was suspended. It's not banned, it's just suspended. But there is no reason why, because I can see the last tweets that I made, and none of those tweets are deleted, and none of them violate the terms of service based upon the account. The last one is a retweet of a piece of art. That's literally what it is. Somebody that I follow on that account, this person, he or she, makes these like little anime octopuses, like type things, and she did a drawing before of my favorite Final Fantasy VI villain, Ultros, who's a little octopus, and I really liked it. So I followed her as an account because somebody else had said something about her.
Have you been to her account since and seen if...
I haven't, because I just don't remember the name of the account, but I should probably go over there, do it, and follow it with the other thing. But
what I'm saying is, if maybe hers got suspended,
Yeah, maybe it's because... But the picture is literally of an octopus. That's it. It's a purple octopus. It's nothing really...
Females put their titties and buttholes on there.
Yeah,
so.
they do. There's tons of people that have said much worse stuff than I have ever said that are still out there. And they have said...
Maybe they thought you were making a political statement.
Yeah, I don't do any of that type of shit on that account for a reason.
And they thought, maybe he's doing something political, and I don't agree with that, so let's just ban you.
The only other thing that I could say is that somebody reported something of mine, and they took it as, but who would have reported anything on that account?
Your homeboy?
Yeah, okay, maybe the homeboy would have, but wouldn't... Don't you get that's what drives me crazy?
The thing
don't
is,
you get a warning from somebody
that
says,
only a warning,
hey,
but if they're going to suspend
your account got reported for this, it just got instantly suspended because their algorithms decided to pick that my account was one of the ones that needed to be suspended for whatever reason when it's just a podcast account. And I've been trying to fight, and the thing is that like I didn't put my phone number in the account because I don't want Twitter having my phone number. But they're like, well, if it's able to be unlocked, just enter your phone number. I'm like, well, I didn't. I just have an email. Like, I was looking through all their stuff. So I got to figure out another way to contact them and just try to figure this fucking thing out because it's getting to the point that they say they're super backed up with emails, and this is the worst customer service that I've ever experienced in my life.
Worse than FedEx?
Worse than, well, I don't know. And that's the thing, is I said fuck FedEx on the my personal fucking account, not on Terrible Terror, and yet that account's still fine. So
they're like, we agree.
We agree, because FedEx fucking sucks to what they used to be. But yeah, so go check out toolbert. That's the home right now for Terrible Terror and myself.
You have a YouTube.
It's toolbert and T_ or still Terrible Terror. You can check out both of those YouTube channels. There should be, I think, 2 reviews coming up soon because I did find one of these things.
Bum, bum, bum.
I found another one of these blind bags that I'm going to be doing for the Terrible Terror account, as well as doing. I'm probably going to do a longer Willy's Wonderland review or something.
Yeah, I think I'll probably do one on my blog.
So,
you have a band?
Well, it's the same state as your other podcast.
So you have
So Angels of Fear. There's a bunch of stuff that you can listen to, but nothing in a fucking CD, which is going to piss me off. Yeah, so you can go check out his stuff. It's on my YouTube channel as well. I've got a little bit of something on there. But it's really early. His is better quality because I've been in the band for a while at that point.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is...
You have another podcast.
The Terrible Terror Podcast. Doing The Secret of Nimh. Just did The Last Unicorn. A lot of fun.
Blow up Twitter.
I'd love...
Hashtag justice for Terrible Terror.
Love this movie, too. Have you ever seen The Secret of Nimh?
I don't think I have.
With the rats? They're like in the yard in the rose bush.
Is it animated?
Yeah, it's Don Bluth. It's from the 80s.
I might have to look it up. It sounds familiar, but
yeah, this is the last of the animated movies.
If I seen it when I was younger, and I probably never seen it since. So
then I gotta hook up with Kyle and them and
Starship
see
Troopers
when I can get Starship Troopers, and then I can push that one out further because I can do another sci-fi movie that doesn't have to be Starship Troopers first. So I can give them, because I know that once he's had this surgery, he's going to need some time to recover, and I don't want to put anything on him that's going to make him, do anything. But we'll see where it goes. So I guess that's it. Is there anything else that you want to tell?
You're doing sci-fi? You can do Leprechaun 4?
No, I'm not going to do Leprechaun 4 in space. No, I'm going to try to do a sci-fi.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Thanksgiving 3 because they're in space.
No, that was Thanksgiving 2, which is a hidden DVD somewhere out in the ether.
Yeah.
And I redid Thanksgiving 3 and won't watch that movie ever.
Oh, that's right. You did.
All right. Is there anything else you want to tell the audience